Hey guys, this is Caterpie TCG here. These are the decks that I tested for this video, and their records in just a short little testing. So, here are the top decks. Obviously you see them, but, yeah. So number 10 is Raichu. It hits for very high damage, and there's room for a lot of different tech cards. And Max Elixir and Electrode and Raikou just give you so much energy. And it's really consistent, actually, which I was surprised, because it just doesn't seem consistent. And it can beat Gardevoir. It has a really bad, it has a really weird Gardevoir matchup, but if you play it right, it beats Gardevoir. It beat Gardevoir once. Next is Alolan Ninetales. It uses kind of the spread devolve strategy sometimes. It has powerful attacks on all of the attackers. And it has EX and GX immunity with Luminous Barrier. It hits Volcanion for weakness, and it has a pretty easy attack cost for most of the attacks. Blizzard Edge is a little hard to get using, but it's still worth it. Next is kind of a weird deck. It is the Regis. So this is kind of weird because you usually want to attack with Registeel, which Regirock boosts the damage of Registeel. And if you have Registeel in play, Regice is immune to Stage 2s. And it has a really weird playstyle just because, you need all of them in play for different effects. And it can beat anything if you draw right. Especially in a format if starter Pokemon become big, which they very well might. It's especially good because there's a card called, Crystal Wall or whatever, or if it's attached to a Regi, you reduce damage by 30. Right now, obviously, Fighting Fury Belt seems like the better tool choice, but also Delmise is a good card in this deck, because like I said, you mostly want to attack with Registeel. Sometimes you can attack with Regice, depending on what deck you're playing. Number 7 is Metagross. With a new Cartonology X, I think this deck has a lot of potential. You can also use the new Registeel, like I just talked about, to do attack. Has a decent matchup versus Gardevoir. Unfortunately, the Volcanion matchup is just so horrendous. But once you get going, it's actually pretty hard to stop this deck, especially with Kartana's GX attack, where you just take a prize card. That's pretty good against, prize trade advantages. Overall, Kartana is actually a really good card in this deck. And significantly enhances the Gardevoir matchup. Number 6 is Golisopod Zoroark. The trade ability is really good because you can discard 1 and draw 2, similar to Diving Draw and Polion. Also, Zoroark's ability Stand-In is also good because you can put a Float Stone on Stand-In Retreat and get First Impressions damage out. It has Greninja for weakness. This is the ultimate ideal consistency for a deck, in my opinion. So yeah, it's pretty nice. And Muscle Dumbbell actually might be a good play in this deck, just because 250 HP Pokemon are really hard to beat, usually. So I think Muscle Dumbbell might actually be a decent 1 or 2 up in these decks. Next is Silvally Scizor. You can use tools to make Silvally different types. I have the Psychic one. What Silvally does is, all your basics have free retreat, and its attack for 3 colorless, 120, and I believe you attach an energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, I don't know which. And then the GX attack is 50 for each of your opponent's best Pokemon. And Scizor is a pretty good attacker too because of Gale Thrust, maybe? I don't honestly know what it's called. But it's similar to Golisopod, where if it becomes active, then just a lot more damage. The deck does break a lot, so that's kind of bad. It is super powerful, and Silvally is a really good partner for it. Okay, so there's a 3 here. It's supposed to be a 4. Just had to make sure. Number 3 is Drampal Garbodor. Trash Lance is still pretty good. Drampal is good with Potown. Latios is a really good deck with this deck, and it's pretty consistent. It's a pretty powerful deck. And it used to be the best deck in format, obviously now. It is not that great. But next is Zoroark Lycanroc. The Lycanroc Midnight form is good for if you have a Wally and you go second, you can pretty much just win if they don't have any other basics, so it's decent for dunking. Trade is just such a good ability with Zoroark GX. And the attack, Riot Beat or whatever it's called, is also pretty good. 20 for each of your opponent's next Pokemon. There are lots of good attacks in this deck. The regular Midnight Lycanroc is good. The Midnight Lycanroc GX has good attacks. Especially Dangerous Rogue. Also, it's pretty good because you can hit things. You can knock out things that your opponent doesn't want knocked out, like Tapu Leles, because you have Bloodthirsty Eyes. A little Muck actually might not be a bad play in this deck. It does kind of convince your opponent not to play Tapu Leles down, which can be a problem if you need to take cheap prices. But it's still a pretty good card for stopping your opponent from setting up. A few people have said this is the best deck. I don't think this is the best deck for the Shining Legends and Crimson Invasion format, but I think that it is pretty good. It doesn't seem to have very good Gardevoir or Volcanion matchups, which is a problem because the next two decks are Gardevoir and Volcanion. Next deck is Volcanion. The new Marowak card, for each energy your opponent has, you can attach a fire energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So it kind of punishes decks like Gardevoir. And it hits Metagross, Scizor, and Registeel for weakness. And obviously those were all on this list. And it is super consistent. It's not quite Gliscopod Zoroark consistent, but it is really good. And I think a 1-1, a 2-1, or a 2-2 line of Marowak is pretty good with this deck. Just because it's like Nitro Tank, but for free. And you can use it multiple times. Like, it's just a really seemingly good card. My last deck is Gardevoir GX, and I don't know if this Miltank is even going to be played, but for each energy that you attach from your hand, you heal 90 from the Pokemon you attach it to. So you can heal at least 90 per turn, plus like 2 Secret Springs, you heal, math is hard, 270 damage per turn. So you basically heal all your damage each turn, and attach energies. Obviously, the damage is really great with Gardevoir. We've already seen this, because it's easily the best deck right now. And there's a counter to Hoopa, and there's a counter to Ninetales, and that is Gallade. Also, Miltank now can attack, although I don't think it's a very good attacker. Consistent. It's a very consistent deck. Also, I proxied Miltank and tried it a couple times with Rabombi, and I really like that because you can search your deck for 2 fairy energies and attach them and heal 180 damage. So essentially, as long as your opponent isn't one-shotting your Gardevoir, you will be invincible. The problem with that version is that you have to play you have to play like 2-2 Rabombi, 1 or 2 Miltank, and then the normal Gardevoir line. And you have to play like 14 fairy, and then however many DCEs you want to play. So you don't have that many room for item cards. So it is kind of clunky, but if you get set up, you're invincible. So this is just my opinion on the next format, the Shining Legends and Crimson Invasion format. Let me know what your guys' top 10 picks are for this format. And soon we will know if I was right or wrong. Probably wrong, because last time I was very, very wrong. But anyways, peace out.